But Christ was a superior revolutionary. You understand? And the men around him were fighters.
I know that, yeah. What are the qualifications needed to become a black Hebrew Israelite?
When you say recruits, we don't have recruits. Christ said this, right. My sheep hear my voice. These men found us. I found Commander John Yohana.
How did you find him?
By hearing his voice. I seen the camp out on the street. Brothers come in here.
Welcome to Pegasus versus the World, where we take on challenges, comedy, trending topics, and some travel. City boy! City boy! All right, you guys, I had to check this out. The title was crazy. But first, we got to show love. This is on Tyler Oliveira, I think that's how you say it. Tyler Oliveira's channel. I've reacted to some stuff. He does incredible, like, independent journalism with that little YouTube edge. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, you just don't get this type of stuff anywhere. And he's covering things that mainstream media is scared to cover. And they're great topics. I picked this one very specific. There's multiple reasons. I picked this and we will get into it. I grew up seeing the Black Israelites, okay? And I actually think this is kind of what Kendrick believes. He's made some mentions like, you know, the Black Hebrews, Black Israelites. This is a sect of I guess you'd say a religion. But when I was growing up, I was really into Wu-Tang, and Wu-Tang's a part of the 5% Nation. There was the Nation of Islam. There was the Black Israelites. These are things I'm actually somewhat familiar with. So when I saw this come up and the title, it was the thumbnail that made me, I was like, oh, he's talking about the Black Israelites. Anyways, the title of this video is I interviewed the most R-word, it rhymes with facelift. I interviewed the most R-word Black people in America. Yeah, I was like, that's crazy. That's a crazy title. That's crazy to title it that. But I wanted to see his premise on it. I don't really know everything about the Black Israelites, so we're going to get into it. I know the beginning of this is kind of wild. That's why I scrolled through to find a hot piece in the middle to start this with. I started watching some of this. This is a 35-minute video, you guys. There's some really in-depth stuff here that's kind of wild, and I want to tell y'all how this has went full circle with me personally. We'll talk about it throughout this video. It's kind of wild. That's why I was like, yo, I got to get on this one. But anyways, I'm not going to watch the whole thing here, you guys. This is for you to go support his original content. Go to his YouTube. You know, that helps his ad revenue. I believe Tyler has a Patreon, a bunch of different things. So I don't want to be, you know, just snatching stuff up. But I'm sure we're going to find some valuable information here. And, I appreciate this type of stuff. So if you rock with me, like, share, comment, subscribe. I'm going to link in the description my music reaction channel and stuff like that. But let's go. Let's start this off. This is I interviewed the most racist people in America.
God hates white people. He created them to be hated.
Like, white people are a virus. The only way to get rid of it is the medicine. Real niggas are the medicine.
You got a whip right here.
Yeah, that's for you.
He said real niggas is the medicine.
When I see a white baby, I'll be like, he's gonna try to enslave my people when he gets older. The only thing that a white person could give me is their life.
The men and the women who profited off of our...
Okay, I get the title now. I get the title now. Like, okay, like, can I just keep it real with y'all for a second? And it's weird because I don't feel like I'm putting them on blast, but, like, I love Wu-Tang. I grew up loving Wu-Tang so much. I took on the slang. I was wearing the wallabies, and I started to study their religion, the 5% Nation. And yes, in the 5% Nation, so every Wu-Tang Clan song, when they say, you know, devils, they're referencing white people. Like, from what I remember, you know, the 5% Nation believes the white man is the devil, the blue-eyed white devil. You know, that comes from the Nation of Islam as well. And the way Black folks were treated, and I'm including myself in that, I'm just speaking kind of like openly here. I understand where that comes from. I understand why you would feel that way when you look at the history of this country. And I'm not just talking about slavery, because the thing that F's me up about slavery personally is that Native Americans had slaves, Black folks had slaves, white folks had slaves. And the majority of people in this country did not have slaves, right? It was the minority, the people with money, the blah, 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 right? The thing that really F's me up about the whole scenario of slavery is after slavery. Why were Black folks treated the way they were treated after slavery? put through the damn ringer. Such a dark blotch on the history of America. And if we can't agree to see that, I mean, that's just American history. You know, now the one thing I would always highlight is that there was slavery in multiple parts of the world. In this country, America is the only country where the slaves have gotten the opportunities in the financial, like, you know, obvious through time. But the slaves never came out on top in most cultures, except for in America. So it's kind of interesting. It's like this like kind of love-hate relationship you might have with the past, but I think you utilize the past to become better, right? Anyways, these takes at the beginning of these are wild takes. And we're going to talk in a minute or two about how this connects with me full circle, which you guys kind of see like I have a little bit of understanding of this, but, you know, this is wild.
Slavery, they're going to bow at our feet.
You'll kiss this boo right here.
One at a time.
Keep on coming, Mr. White Man.
That's so
Everybody say that they love black people, but there's no action behind it.
Both of y'all sit.
These are the Black Hebrew Israelites, a black supremacist group that hates white people and believes that they're the true Israelites.
No, I would tell you, I really hate white people. I would tell you that.
But what other groups besides whites do they hate?
Dark race is the so-called African, who you would call the Nigerian, the Rwandan, the South African. They are not our people.
And do these beliefs actually come from the Bible? I met up with Captain Tazariak and his brothers mid-training session in Harlem, New York to learn more.
What you see over there is you see what we call Hebrew.
See, this is crazy because, like, I saw a lot of this growing up because one of my brothers, one of my really good friends actually left Colorado and went to something similar like this. It's called the United Nation of Islam. But I remember before he got into it, he started reading stuff from the Nation of Islam. And there's a lot of correlations from the Bible that said, like, I believe in the Bible, there's a part where it says your people will be enslaved for 400 years and da-da-da-da. And they show how this, you know, how this region of the world has dark people, how it correlates here or there. And so this is the premise it's based on. I just want to go ahead and tell y'all full circle why I'm doing this video. One, I know a little bit about the black Israelites, black Hebrew, you know, the 5% Nation of Islam, Islam. And then obvious is coming from me, who's a Christian, right? So that's kind of interesting. But a couple months ago, at my recording studio, I was driving, and I'm at a red light, and a dude knocks on my window and gives me this. And this is it. 12 tribes of Israel today. Judah, American blacks. Benjamin, West Indians. Levi, Haitians. Ephraim, Puerto Ricans. Maha, Cubans. Summit, Dominicans. Like, this was given to me on a street corner in Colorado Springs. This. The whole breakdown's right here. And this was just like a month ago. So when my man posted this, I was like, no way. No way he's like, because like I'm familiar with this type of stuff. When he gave it to me, I knew what it was. I was like, oh, these are the black Israelites. Now, I didn't realize they were so radical in their thoughts against white folks. I mean, to me, I understand where you could have the premise like, hey, these people are your enemy for this reason, that. But like where he says the only thing I can take from them is their, you know, life. That's pretty wild. That's a pretty wild statement. Also, any group dealing with supremacy, meaning they are the master race at any capacity, I'm just not rocking with. Because I do believe in equality in the sense of like that's what we should strive for. I believe this, honestly. Tribalism has led us here, right? So tribalism and this concept of when you were in a tribe or with your group of people, people that didn't look like you could potentially be a threat or a danger, especially people that didn't look like you. But even other tribes could be a threat or a danger. So we have this mechanism installed within every human to protect ourselves by isolating from things that don't seem like us, look like us, etc. And then this has been magnified through history, through events, people who've conquered things, people who got to first place first, the people who get there second, taking on, because like these ideologies, it's just really interesting to see. And I'm not a historian, I'm not this buff. I just kind of take it in on a commonsensical way. But this is some wild stuff. man, I hope YouTube doesn't demonetize this video because I don't even care. Something like this, I think it's worth being put out there regardless. Yeah, man, when they demonetize stuff, F me making money off of, this conversation piece. I don't care about that. It's that when it gets demonetized, it limits the reach as well. So there's multiple things there that we're doing on these channels where we're like, man, we want to reach as many people as possible. And I think this is like this type of stuff we definitely want to be talking about.
Academy. So this is a physical training and mental and spiritual training that we do every year where we take new members, we train them. So they're going to go through physical training, self-defense, spiritual training, learning scriptures.
Okay, real quick, you have any questions, Smith?
No, I'm just watching. I've seen them before, I just don't know what they do.
What we teach is that the true children of the Bible are Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. And so we come out here to train these new members in our school.
Sounds good to me. I'm out here doing kind of the same thing.
There's one catch.
We believe that white people are probably the worst thing to ever happen to black people.
Well, I can understand.
What are your plans for her and her kind?
You know what I struggle with as of recently? And I don't want to be I hate the Uncle Tom, Sambo, sellout, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay? He said something very profound there. He said, white folks are the worst thing that happened to black people. But I would personally argue, in today's current culture, we're starting to become our own worst enemy if we haven't been already. I don't like saying that in a public platform because it's hard. Like, I know for black folks, it's hard to see other ethnicities criticize you in the comments. But I'm just telling the truth. Like, I think about why I almost was killed young, why I was almost imprisoned young. And it wasn't because of white people necessarily. Like, I mean, I've had racial issues in my life where it's like you got profiled, but I was also in the wrong, right? Like, it's like I had a gun on me. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it was easier to find me because I fit the description, like I dressed the part. But you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, it is what it is. But essentially, the root cause for me was I was personally heavily influenced by rap, and I grew up in the gangster rap era. And people be like, well, you don't have to this, that, and the other. Hey, both of my parents had to go. I had a great household. I have great parents. Two parents stayed together 30 years until my mom passed away. But they had to both go into the workforce because they were rough. They had to go through it financially. And MTV and rap music and my friends influenced me heavily. And I only had black friends in high school. You know what I'm saying? So it just kind of is what it is, at least when I went to Widefield, South Side. And we were running those streets. And so, like, I just try to take everything with a grain of salt because I just want to be better and do better. And also sitting here blaming a person or a certain ethnicity on all of our shortcomings, like, we also got to look at who sold who into slavery. You know, I believe it's a historical fact that Europeans couldn't even last in the continent of where they were getting slaves because they would get these sicknesses and stuff. So it took other people like us who sold us into slavery. And we have to take accountability at that. That's the highest level. That's the root cause. If they were capturing other people or not selling people, then it wouldn't really, I don't know if it wouldn't have happened at that level, but from what I've read is that Europeans couldn't, stand the different diseases and stuff in that continent. So they're kind of just there and out. And a lot of people, including the Europeans, died on the ship rides over. So there's just a lot to talk about that. And then all this stuff I'm telling you guys, I'm just privy to this information 5-6 years ago. They didn't teach this in American history. Slavery is a part of American history. All of the dark parts of American history should be taught in school without theories. I don't want to hear a theory of because of this is why this is happening. I just want to hear the history. I will make my own decisions from that. But a part of that history is little nuances like that. Like, hey, whenever you watching all these different things, I did not know that, black folks were selling black folks into slavery. And why was that? Because the Europeans couldn't handle the diseases and other things in that continent. They just weren't. So hey, if I'm wrong with that, please tap in so I can do more due diligence. I'm just saying, when you start learning little pieces like that, it just you kind of like, damn, man, this isn't what I thought it was. Anyways, we'll watch a little of this. I'm going to skip to that middle part too, and we're going to ride off into the sunset. You can watch the whole video on Tyler Oliveira's channel. It's dope.
It's not really our plans, it's God's plan. According to the Bible, God is going to avenge black people for what white people did, so they go enslaved. They got to be in chains. They got to build our kingdom. They got to serve out the judgment for touching God's people.
How you doing? What are your thoughts on the Black Hebrew Israelites?
I would need to know more about it.
Can you give her a quick synopsis of what you believe in?
Of course, they're running into all liberals. Like, it would be so cool to see a debate between like a right-wing conservative pundit versus a black Israelite. I would pay to see that, because it'd just be like, yo, Thomas Sowell versus the black Israelites, Like, I try to fall somewhere in between the middle, because I understand the plight and the pain of the black man in America. But at the same time, like I said, there are some things we've done to ourselves. There's some things within just human DNA, like, kind of set certain things up. So it's like, can we get to the pulse, man? What's really popping, man? Can we get to this freedom, liberty, and justice for all?
Of course, Jesus Christ is black, right?
I don't know much about, to tell you the truth, the Bible. I do know that people are being persecuted and have been for a long time. It's the patriarchy in this country and in many other Western countries that are
Blame the patriarchy, why don't you?
discriminating, and I'm happy when people are standing up for educating other people and helping us understand.
This is a very compassionate answer. At some point, though, you will be in chains and enslaved, apparently. What are your thoughts on that?
If you lead the people into slavery and destroy their identity, shouldn't there be a punishment for those people who do it?
Yes.
Is he a brother? ¿Qué es tu país de origen? España. Spanish count or no?
Conquistadors. We're indigenous. That's European, right?
Oh, man. Okay.
They're the ones who conquered the natives.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie, this is kind of cringe and kind of uncomfortable, but I'm down for uncomfortable conversations on this channel. But when I start seeing like people kiss people's shoes, and it's just like weird, because we faced this type of bullshit for so long. I'm talking about black Americans, right? White people spitting on us for wanting to go to school, lynching people, mutilating people, burning crosses, scaring babies and families in their homes because they didn't, whatever, right? I'm not going to make an excuse for that. It's bullshit, right? So when I think about the pain and suffering that a people felt because of, and not just that race, whoever wants to persecute, whoever, right? Pharaoh enslaving folks. That shit is not cool. So then when I see the flip side, I see that energy start to arise within myself. Like, yeah, they did this to me, man. I'm gonna mutilate them. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. Nah, bro. That's scarcity mindset, bro. That's not abundance mindset. I can't revolve in that space, bro. I can't. We could train. We can get some spirituality popping. We can have some conversations. I just can't do that, man. I can't do that. You know what I mean? And my dad's black, so they should accept me. But what's funny is in my mom's heritage, in my mother's heritage, I think there's some European in our blood. You know what I mean? I know there's some Irish and Native. That's what's funny. We're black, but then I'm black and Mexican. My Mexican side is like Mexican, which whatever that means. I don't even know what that means. I think that comes from Spain, right? Anyways, I want to get to this other part. Like this, I could ramble about this stuff. I think about this stuff all the time because I'm raising two daughters who just look white. That's just what it is, man. My damn light-skinnedness did not kick in, you know? And it's just like, it's tough seeing all these different things and trying to maneuver through what they're going to grow up with a black father, me, but then potentially being treated a certain way because the way society and culture is moving. When I thought, when I was young, everyone gonna start looking kind of like me, you know, because we all mixing it up and chilling together and stuff. And now there's white folks, they're diluting our race and we're falling off. And then there's black folks like, we taking you out. I'm like, bruh, can I live? Like, in this world, I don't fit. I don't fit on either side. They don't like me. It is what it is. I like you, though. I love y'all mother suckers, man. All right, let's go. Let's see what's popping here. Let's go through a little bit of this piece, and then we're going to talk
Gandhi
about
type cat.
Yeah.
But Christ was a superior revolutionary. You understand? And the men around him were fighters.
I know that, yeah. What are the qualifications needed to become a black Hebrew Israelite?
When you say recruits, we don't have recruits. Christ said this, my sheep hear my voice. These men found us. I found Commander John Yohana
How did you find him?
by hearing his voice. I seen the camp out on the street. Brothers come and hear what's being said, hearing that the true biblical Jews are black, hearing that Christ died for only blacks, Hispanics, Native American Indians, that the 12 lost tribes of Israel are the people who are despaired and trodden on in this country that you call America.
Do you have to be a certain percentile of black or Hispanic or Native American to join the black Hebrew Israelites?
We go by who your father is, by blood. That percentile and all that, it comes from the so-called white man society. I mean, how do you know what percentile black I am?
I don't know.
Like, even just thinking about it doesn't make any sense. Let's say, for instance, like Bob Marley, he's a white man like you. Yeah, because his father is white. Your father is white, correct?
Yeah, he's Portuguese.
He's white. Bob Marley is your...
He's calling Bob Marley white? I actually thought Bob Marley kind of... Oh, wow. That's insane. So I'm black, y'all. I'm bliggity back, and I'm black, y'all, because my dad black. Let's go. My dad actually looks so similar to Morgan Freeman. It is crazy. But that's weird. See, this is that bullshit, man. This is that divisive, nonsensical bullshit, man. Oh, your father was white, so you're white, bro. Bob Marley looked blacker than me, bro. What are we doing? It's crazy, man. And this is why we're going to listen. I would love to hear your comments in the down below.
Oh, brother, not mine. My father.
Bob Marley, my man.
No, I mean, you can have it. But when it comes to nationality, the Bible always traces the lineage of the man. So if your father is a black man, a Negro, you understand, you're from the tribe of Judah. If your father is a Mexican, he is an Israelite from the tribe of Issachar.
Bro, like, what's crazy is in my life, in my lived experience, all the racism I've personally dealt with had come from Mexicans. Yo, I'm not lying. Now, I'm not talking about profiling. Profiling, you deal a little bit with that from everyone. No, not everyone. But when you're young and you dress, you know what I'm saying? Like, you get profiled. Like, you wear your hat back, your pants sagging, you got tint on your windows, you bumping. You get profiled. That's just what it is, right? I don't know if you get profiled if you're white and you look and do that, but you get profiled if you look like me and darker. Like, you do. It happens at clubs. They don't let certain people, oh, you can't wear white tees, you can't dress like this, da-da-da-da. It's to keep the riffraff off, because typically during profiling, this demographic does typically act a certain way, and I am a club promoter and a concert promoter, so I know why they do it. I get it. I'm like, damn, it sucks. We kind of live into our stereotype. It is what it is. However, what was the damn point I was making? He was just saying something ill. But this whole, and I'm tripping because, like, so my children are white like porcelain, but I'm their black father. So he's saying they're black, which is just like, it's just like all of this shit is mad, crazy, ironical. And then you're like, okay, well, whose grandfather or the grandfather or the grandfather? It's just, this shit is wild. This shit breaks my brain. Only a little bit more of this. But oh yeah, what I was trying to say is, like, in my lifetime, Mexicans have been the ones that have said the N-word with the hard ER. It's never been a white dude. I've never seen a white dude say the N-word. I've seen two white dudes, one late night at a Waffle House wearing a swastika on a leather jacket, but he ain't say the N-word. He ain't say it to me or the crew. It's just wild. It is wild, you guys. Anyways, let's listen. Let's listen a little bit more.
They are brothers.
Who is the dog race?
The dog race is the so-called African, who you would call the Nigerian or the Rwandan or the South.
He say the dog or dark race?
From the tribe of Issachar. They are brothers.
Who is the dog race?
The dog race is the so-called African, who you would call the Nigerian or the Rwandan or the South Africans. Those are considered Africans, but they are not our people.
A Nigerian couldn't come here and be a brother?
No.
Ethiopian?
No.
Kenyan?
Nope.
None of them? Damn, okay.
The man who calls himself a Jew is a red man. His blood show forth through his skin. You cannot hide among a dog race of people. You understand? It's just proving that The black man, because we're called African because we were found in the land of Africa, hiding among a dark race.
The seduction is to convince black people that America wants us to be a part of that. The difference between like the Democratic Party, Republican is gonna say everything to your face. They're gonna do it bluntly. The Democrats is gonna do it seductively. It's almost like if you take a can of beer, you don't want to drink the full beer, so you get light beer. But it's still the same racism. Sure. It's just covered up in a different bottle, but still gets you drunk.
What are your thoughts on the Civil Rights Act?
I would prefer segregation than the Civil Rights Act. The greatest time that black people had and the greatest threat that we ever were to America was segregated times, during Jim Crow, doing all the things when we was getting lynched and arrested. They incorporated the 13th Amendment so they could falsely lock us up. We still built hospitals, colleges, cities. We had a Negro League. We had all these things. We had education. Then you had the thought process of it's better if we integrate. And so when we decided to integrate, we lost education. We lost family structure. We lost businesses. We lost everything. Now they have...
This is the first good argument I've heard. This is actually a conservative talking point as well, a black conservative talking point. And they're not running for isolation anymore or segregation, but it is a talking point because black folks on paper were doing better during segregation, which is wild to think. But it's true. Like, what's the last time you seen a black bank? Like, yeah, they got HBCUs and stuff, but it was like really interesting because it got so prominent where they burnt it down in Black Wall Street. You know what I'm saying? Like, it started to get so popping, the economy and stuff, so there's a setback there. So there's a lot to discuss when you're talking about American history. One thing I was thinking about, I always try to get my answers from nature. We're going to tap out with this thought. You guys let me know what you think. Because as a black man, I always feel sometimes like when I feel like super patriotic or love my country or all these different things, you know, from the black community, I'm led to be a sellout. I'm led to be, what's it called? Stockholm syndrome, that I fell in love with the slave master. And assimilation is Stockholm syndrome. And I've been thinking about that deeply lately, very deeply. The one thing I was thinking about was nature. In nature, what could be a representation of this? And then I thought about it. I was like, do animals assimilate? And they do. It's evolution in nature. It's called evolution in nature. They evolve so they can, like I just did a reaction on this channel to the honey badger. And one of the ways he evolved is like it kept getting bit by poisonous snakes and it eventually developed a tolerance. And now it could just chew the head off of a king cobra. And if the king cobra bites it, it just takes like a little nap and then wakes up and keeps moving. You know, animals change colors. They develop certain things. They adapt. They evolve. And I was thinking assimilation, or this concept of assimilating, is similar. Is that bad? Right? Like it's a natural thing in nature to evolve so you can survive and thrive. And in America, black folks have been given more opportunities here than any other country. So it's like, why would you you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I think about this stuff a lot. It ain't easy, but it doesn't affect me. So don't go get off this and feel bad for me or anything. I don't trip on this stuff. But I do think about it, right? Because I'm raising kids, I'm in society, I'm in the environment, and I want to create real change. Not Obama change, real change, right? Bring people together at some capacity. I think also because I'm mixed, I always want to bring people together. You know how you always want to be like loved, liked, and accepted? There's just your deep down core nature. And I had to face the fact that that's just not realistic. Anyways, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. This is a very good documentary, very good journalism at the highest level. Yeah, I'd love to see what you guys think.
City boy, city boy.